Hi friends, welcome. This is a short yoga flow focused on your hips. Whether you've been traveling or spent a lot of time sitting at your desk, we always need to soften the hips a little. So let's start on our backs. For this practice, if you have a block, you can grab one and keep it nearby. That will be great. If not, don't worry about it. Let's come on your back. Feet flat on the floor, knees together. You can bring your feet as wide as the mat. Let's lift the seat, ground the table into the mat, and spread your shoulder blades. Let's take a moment to arrive. You can keep the hands on the belly or bring one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart space. And feeling the air coming in and the air going out. Let's start with just a few mindful breaths. Every inhale, I feel the belly rise. The ribcage expands all the way to the heart space, feeling the air, and exhale, slowly release. Inhale, slow and steady. Exhale. And one more, inhale. And exhale. Bringing your right knee to your right shoulder and extend the left leg and keep the left foot flexed, pressing the left foot towards the front of your mat and squeezing your right knee towards your right shoulder. And you can feel here a lengthening of the left hip flexor, taking a few breaths. We're moving towards figure 4, bringing the right ankle against the left knee. And we're going to make sure we keep both feet flexed here. I'm going to pull the left knee towards me and send the right knee towards the front of the mat. I can be gentle here. If I have a little more space in my hips, I can be more active in bringing the left knee to the chest. But make sure your tailbone stays grounded into the mat. 3 breaths. And we'll do the same little warm-up on the other side. So extend the right leg, keep the right foot flexed, and bring the left knee towards your left shoulder. We can relax the left foot, but keep pressing the right heel towards the front of the mat, feeling a gentle stretch in the right hip flexor. 3 slow, steady breaths. And gently moving the right knee up to find figure 4 on the left side. So keeping both feet flexed here. Actively bringing the right knee towards the chest and the left knee the opposite direction towards the front. 3 slow, steady breath. Slowly release, bring both knees to their respective shoulders. Keep lengthening the table towards the ceiling, really feeling that fold, that hinge into your hips as you lengthen your tailbone down and bring your knees towards your armpit or your shoulders. It's nice to stay here for a few breaths or even move from side to side a little bit. Give yourself a little massage of the lower back. And when you're ready, I'm going to bring right ankle on top of left, knees to the chest, now round the lower back and slowly start to move back and forth all the way to sit. You can stay seated where you are, just changing angle here so you can see what happens. Sitting in a easy Sukhasana, easy cross-leg position. Make sure you're not closing the gap too much here. Willing to steer the part. Moving from the hips, so relaxing your shoulder, relaxing your hand, and imagine you're sitting on a clock. And you want to make sure you mark every single minute here as you steer your part. So the back of the clock, it's easy because we're used to sit there, but the top of the clock from 9 to 3, it's a little more difficult. So we want to bring our awareness there in moving the pubic bone towards the front. And can we find the movement, not from the ribs, not from the shoulders, but really from the hips. And after a few rounds, one way we pause and we move the other way. So clockwise to counterclockwise or the other way around. So again, we bring your awareness to the top of the clock. And make sure slowly we get to hit the 12 number and get the pubic bone a little closer to the ground. Yes. Let's take a pause. Let's move forward onto your hands and knees. I like to call this shape top of the feet and knees because really the connection to the ground is not just the hand and the knees. It starts from the connection of the top of the feet and maybe even the pinky toe. If you can spread your toes and press the pinkies to the side. The knees are hip distance apart, the hands are shoulders distance apart. I make sure I'm not hyperextended here in my elbows. And we'll do a few cat-cows. So pressing from the top of the feet, initiate the movement from there. Inhale, arch the back, open the heart space, slightly gaze up. Exhale, press the top of the feet, the knees, tailbone down, look at your navel. We'll go here 5 more times, finding your breath and movement coordination. Exhale, round, look at your navel. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, articulating the whole spine. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One last one. Sending your tailbone back, rolling the feet, opening the heart space. Exhale, tailbone down, looking at your navel. Now coming back to a neutral spine. Let's start to move our hips here. And let's soften the shoulders if the tendency is to move from the shoulders when the hips are closed and like a little bit flexibility. The tendency is to compensate with our ability in the upper body. So we want to use this practice to not only open the hips and focus on the hip flexibility, but also to let go of the tensions in the shoulders. So circling one way and then we circle the other. And you see all the time when you do those practices, those hip rolls, you can slowly also add a cat-cow. And it becomes more natural as we practice those. Nice, coming back to a neutral spine, bringing the right foot in between the hand. I like to push the left knee back a little bit here. And again, I'm mindful to ground from the feet. So ground the top of the back foot, press the pinky toe, press the left knee. And we're going to bring that right knee into the right armpit. So sometimes I need to move my right foot a little bit to the right and press my knee a little bit outside. And let's steer the pot. One more time here, without using your hand, without using your shoulders. Can you find the movement into your hips by pressing the feet and the left knee? Circle one way and circle the other. Now coming forward, to press the left hand or the left fingertip onto the mat. Pressing from the top of that left foot, We're going to open the upper body into a gentle twist. So be mindful here not to press too much into the left shoulder. The hand can be flat, but I'm mindful not to send the left shoulder forward. Can stay here, breathe nicely. Just a few options if you want to decorate here. Moving the right foot a little bit to the right, pressing the right knee to the right side. Maybe bring your right hand back and maybe catching that back foot. Be mindful here. That's a very deep stretch in that left hip flexor. Taking a few breaths wherever you are. Now bringing both hands inside of the right foot. This is where if you have a block or even 2 blocks, that may be helpful. We can lower onto the elbows using the block, or you may be able to do it without the block, but I like to be high here so I can open the collarbones, and if that's too low for you, stay on your hand. It's a variation of a lizard shape. So sending the collarbone forward, opening the heart space, gazing towards your potential, I like to say, rather than looking backward or to your navel. And we need to bring the right knee to the right and send the tailbone back. So finding lengthening into the spine here. Taking a few breaths. Nice, slowly release, use the block to rise. Plant both hands and move the right foot back. We will do the same on the left side. So find your hands and knees. Let's circle a little bit. Still your pose, and you can feel here that the right side is a little more open now, and the left. Can we enjoy the space we just created? Coming back to neutral spine. Left foot in between the hand and adjust the position of that back knee. Move the right knee back a little bit. Plant the top of the right foot, spread the toes, plant the pinky toe maybe into the mat. And left knee into the left armpit. It's a nice place to be here. Nice measurements. And sometimes to do that I realize I need to walk the left foot to the left and send away I'm orienting my knee. If my knee tends to come towards the center, I push the knee to the side. And let's go, steering the pose. Again here, can I steer from the connection to the earth, from the feet, from that right knee, and free a little bit the shoulders. And if I may help for, I let go of my hand. Yes, and I test a little bit my ability to balance without the hands and steering the pose without the hands. Nice. So let's take a nice pose here. The right fingertips to the mat, maybe the right hand, soften the right shoulder and open, find a gentle twist here. Same way to decorate your cake here. Those are just variation. You can move the left foot to the left and gently press. Be mindful here that left knee towards the left side. Or maybe open with the left arm, and if this is accessible, catch that back foot. Take 3 breaths wherever you are. Nice, slowly release, bringing the left hand inside the left foot using your block. If you have one, elbows onto the block, or again, you can stay on your hands. And we are gently settling into our low lizard here. Instead of looking down again, I'm lengthening, opening the collarbones, gazing softly towards the front of the mat, taking a few breaths. Nice, slowly release the blocks to the side. So keep your left foot forward here. Let's ground the left foot a little more into the mat. The toes can look to the side. And I'm going to bring the right foot and sit into a squat or Malasana garland pose here. If need be, if that's a shape that's very uncomfortable, I can come and sit on the block. The block can be high or the block can be a little lower. The toes can be looking forward or to the side, in a hands in prayer position. Make yourself with a nice anchor here. Imagine you're creating a hanger with your arm, your shoulders, your crown of the head. And the work here is to avoid to collapse down into the hip flexors, so avoid to do what I'm just showing here, but to press into the hands and send the tailbone back. When I send my tailbone back, I'm hinging into my hips and bringing my heart space to my thumb. Nice 3 breaths here. If it's a hard one to be in right now, you can move a little bit. I like to keep it flowy in the morning when I first do this shape. If it's in the afternoon, maybe I can stay a little more stable. And let's plant the hands, shoulders distance apart. Walk the feet back into a plank position. Look at the distance between your feet. The feet are hip distance apart. And we're not staying here much longer. Bending the knees, setting the table towards the ceiling. And we'll find ourselves in a downward facing dog. So we're focusing on the hips today. So I will advise to keep the legs bent and the heels up. Even if you're on the more flexible side, sending your tailbone towards the ceiling, really hinging into the hips. Nice. Now, bring the right leg towards the ceiling. You can bend the leg, open the right hip. I like to stay here. Some people like doing circle and do it a little more of a flowy variation. Just 1 or 2 breaths here. And looking forward, bring the right foot in between the hands and drop the left knee down. Pointing the back foot. And also going gently to bring the hands to the right knee. So here, if you're flexible and you tend to have a lot of space here, let's consider a shorter variation of this shape. So bringing the right femur into the hip socket, creating more of a square with the legs and pressing the right heel into the mat and pressing the left knee. So try to lengthen the left hip flexor. Nice, opening the collarbone, crown of the head towards the ceiling, taking a few breaths. Slowly release, firming your front foot here. Tuck the back toes, lengthen the back leg. So I can stay on my fingertips here. I only have 1 block today. Maybe you have 2 at home and you can use 2 blocks to frame the front foot. And staying high onto the back toes, we're going to lengthen the leg and flex the front foot. So moving from that lunge into a pyramid, a wide version of pyramid. And I'll do this a few times, finding breath and movement coordination. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now moving into warrior extended side angle, we're going to ground the left heel. Make sure the back foot is in 45-degree angle, keeping your right fingertips to the mat, or maybe using a block right outside of your right foot. Keeping that knee bent, pressing the right knee into the right arm. So feeling that stretch in the right inner thigh here. Keep pressing knee and shoulder against each other and really feel the stability from the right hip. Open the left arm towards the ceiling. 3 breaths. Soften to the right shoulder. Strong into the legs, we need to rise. Warrior 2. Same walk into the leg. We're walking on opening the right side, feeling the stretch into the inner thigh. Now bringing your hands to your hips, lengthening the front leg, bringing the feet parallel, adjusting the distance maybe here a little bit, bending the knees, tucking the tailbone back, and we're going to find ourselves in a wide leg downward facing dog. So walking the hands back, walking the hands forward, tailbone back, and lengthening the spine here. Releasing the hands, you can bring the hands to the mat or grab opposite elbows, whatever is more comfortable for you. Let's start to dance the legs a little bit, bending one leg and the other. Relaxing the neck, relaxing the shoulders and the upper body, and finding gentle movement. Nice, coming to the center. Walking the hands towards the left side of the mat, turning the left foot forward and grounding the right knee onto the mat. Let's step the back heel, move back into a plank position. From plank, bending the knees, finding that knee bend version of your downward facing dog, which allows you to hinge into the hips and really walk the dog from the hips, tailbone all the way towards the ceiling, heels up, engaging the inner thighs. And we'll do the other side. So bring the left leg towards the ceiling, open the left hip, circle if you wish. 2 or 3 breaths here, stretching the left side of the body. Now looking forward, bringing your left foot in between the hands, right knee down, and we need to bring the hands to the left knee, and find our reform variation of that low lunge and Javanasana by making a square here with our legs. So grounding the right knee into the mat, pressing into the right toes, and lifting the energy through that right knee into the right hip flexor. Soften to the shoulders, ground up the head towards the ceiling. 3 slow, steady breaths. Nice, moving forward, planting your fingertips or using your blocks, if you have your blocks framing your front foot, lifting the back knee and extending the back leg. Here, avoid the tendency to look in. I send the gaze and the heart space, the collarbones, towards the front of the room. Inhale here, exhale, lengthen, flex the front foot. Or you can do the other way. Breath, one movement. Doesn't matter here which way you inhale or exhale. Just try to pick a side and find a breath and movement coordination that works for you. Okay, 2 or 3 more times. Moving from the hips. Next time you come forward, ground your left foot and bring your right heel to the mat. Look at your back foot and make sure the back foot is 45 degrees, really lifting the outside, the inner arch of that right foot and pressing the outside edge into the mat. Using the block if you have one, planting your left hand on the outside edge of your left foot. And we're walking out again here on opening the inner thigh, so pressing the knee into the left arm, opening the right arm towards the ceiling for that version of extended side angle today. 3 breaths. So softening the left shoulder. 1, 2, and 3. Strong into the legs, rising. 1, 2. Stable in the legs. Maybe a little lower than what you're used to. Now it's extending the left leg, bringing the feet parallel, hands to the hips. Soften the knees here, and we're going to fall into, bring the hands to the mat. So let's keep the hands right below our shoulders for this one, softening the legs, sending the tailbone back, and collarbones forward. Maybe you stay here, some of you, if you have the space, we bring the crown of the head to the mat, avoiding rounding the upper back. Or somewhere in between, like I'm demonstrating here. I'm working on lengthening the spine, hinging from my hips, and not worrying too much where I am and whether my head is ever going to touch the ground. And as we did before, okay, you're just moving back so you can see a little more. You can stay where you are. We're going to start bending one leg and the other, but this time we're going to go a little deeper and moving into Skandasana. I call it ninja shape. Although Skanda is the Lord of War, moving from one side to another. So here I'm quite low and open into my hips, but if you are high, that's okay. We don't have to go too close to the ground. If that's accessible to you, we can let go of the hands and one way and the other, and find again a way to coordinate breath and movement. So threading every movement onto a breath. Next time you bend the right leg, I need to come and just sit onto the mat. And don't worry if it's not fancy. I try not to do it fancy here on purpose. Extending the left leg and bring the right foot in. So wherever you're sitting on the mat here, we're walking into a 90-degree angle between the left leg and the right knee. And we are going to either fall forward, so in between the legs, or fall over that extended leg, whichever variation you prefer, that's more comfortable or charming today. So here make this side variation, so there's a little more stretch into the right hip, and if I'm in the center, I'm more equal into the hips. So up to you, you can explore a few breaths one and then move to the other. Slowly rise, we're just going to switch side here. Same variation, making a 90-degree angle from the left knee to the right leg, and either falling to the center and breathing fully here, working on lengthening the tailbone back, or just a side variation, stretching a little more into the left hip. Inhale, slowly rise. Okay, bringing your feet wide apart, into windshield the legs a little bit, from side to side. And last pose, sitting here. I'm going to demonstrate 90-90. If pigeon is part of your practice, you can replace the shape with a pigeon variation. But for today, next time you fold the right leg, so create a 90 angle with your right leg, 90 angle with your left. You can use the block here as a support for your third eye, and when to move forward, create the block, even the higher variation here. Third, to connect the third eye to the earth, working on keeping that right shin parallel to the front of the mat. Lengthening the tailbone back, opening the collarbones, taking a few breaths. And you can make this shape into a pigeon if that's part of your practice and you feel that's serving you better today. And after a few breaths, slow and steady, I'm just going to move to the other side. So take the block with you. And falling over the left leg, using the block again as a support, using the breath to fill the upper body with air. Nice, inhale, slowly rise. And we'll finish on our back, so whichever orientation works for you. Let's lie down on the mat. And we're going to cross right knee on top of left knee here. And either grabbing the knee, keeping the feet flexed, or maybe grabbing the ankles. We're going to steer the pot one last time. And this time you can visualize your lower back, your tailbone, marking all the minutes on the clock like we did at the very beginning. And make sure you mark equally the bottom and the top of the clock. Then pause, releasing the hands, bring the hands to the side, grounding the shoulders, and we're going to drop the knees to the right. If that's too much here, you can uncross the legs and drop the legs together. And if not that, should the leg are crossed, you can use your right leg here to really feel the stretch into the left side of the hip right here. And we finish doing the same thing on the other side. So crossing the legs the other way, holding the knees and walking with the knees here, holding the ankles or the shins, and again making some circle. Visualizing the lower back, the tailbone, marking all the minutes on the clock, and then let go, ground the shoulders, and let's take the twist the other side. When you're ready, coming to the center, not crossing the legs. You can take a happy baby if you wish, grabbing the outside edge of the feet, grounding the tailbone like we did at the very beginning onto the mat, maybe moving from side to side. And slowly we make our way to rest. Extending the legs. Relaxing the legs, and you can let the knees and the feet open to the side. And take a few minute breath here. We are done with this practice. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll try to post more of those, whether you're my newsletter or got this through my website. Stay tuned and take some rest before you move on with the rest of your day.